Camp start.
That boy Bud, Terence Bud Crawford, he looking ready as he prepares to move up. Still undefeated, was just undisputed at welterweight. I got a brand new Ego Weight Watchers for you. Stay tuned. Now, what can I say? We got a pound for pound fighter like Terence Crawford, pound for pound number 1, number 2. Some people with Usyk winning have Usyk number 1. I would favor Usyk just because, you know, I think his run at cruiserweight was harder to be undisputed. And then also his run at heavyweight was harder, meaning Crawford only had to fight one guy to get all the other belts. Usyk had to beat Fury and Joshua twice. So that, to me, that's just a greater accomplishment. But take nothing away from Terence Crawford. He's also a very good fighter, a dope fighter as well. Needless to say, that boy Bud is back on another episode of Ego Weight Watchers, where I give you guys a look into the fighter lifestyle, before, after, and progress picks, especially when they have an upcoming fight. Ego Weight Watchers, aka ill, often imitated but never duplicated. And we're here. Make sure you guys follow me on social media. It is important that you guys help get the page cracking. I put this on my Instagram at BOXINGEGO1. We're almost to 70,000 followers. So I will see you guys there. That's another way to get your boxing fix and your boxing news beforehand. But I posted this and you guys will see it on the screen. Terence Crawford flexes crazy shape before his camp starts. He's moving up to 154. Now, in this video, he says that he hasn't even really got into his camp. So a lot of fighters, like elite level fighters like Terence Crawford, they do a pre-camp. Pretty insane. This is Terence Crawford in a pre-camp. So basically his walk around weight or close to it, and you can see he's already, like, to me at least, he looks like he's dialed in. So I said this to Crawford one time when I had interviewed him. He's just always in shape. He seemed like he's always in shape. Like he's disciplined and he doesn't stray too far away from the beaten path. You can see it on the screen. He looks ready to go. So there are some questions because new division, same fighter, but new division. You never know based on how a fighter is done in the past, because as you're climbing up the ladder in the sport of boxing, you could be the man in this division, but as you keep moving up, I truly feel like the fights could get harder. Fighting bigger, stronger guys or girls, depending on what league you're in, and guys can take punches a little bit better, things like that. So this, I feel like any fighter who is moving up, even though you can, how do you say it? Even though you can suggest or you can approximate and estimate how you think they'll do in a new division, you don't really know until you know. Like for even a guy like Usyk, who I told you earlier at the beginning of this video, I have as number 1, with Crawford being number 2. Usyk at cruiserweight by far was the man. He won the World Boxing Super Series. He knocked out Tony Bellew, who had fought at heavyweight and beaten David Haye twice. And despite all that, he still starts fresh, because cruiserweight to heavyweight, that's a big jump. Now you got to fight guys who are, I mean, any type of weight. Fury weighed 262, I want to say. Joshua weighed probably about that. Fury is big and rangy and can box. Joshua is 6'6" and is more of a boxer puncher with a lot of power. You know, guys like Daniel Dubois, I mean, this just, you're dealing with some different stuff than that cruiserweight. It's what it is. and Usyk showed who he is. So earlier in his journey, he was supposed to fight Tyrone Sprong, but then he had a failed VADA test, they said, so the fight got canceled. And he ended up fighting Chaz Witherspoon, or as I call him, Chaz Tablespoon, right? And if you watch the Derek Chisora Usyk or Chaz Tablespoon, those are his first introductory fight to the heavyweight division. They weren't the easiest, but after that, he fought Joshua twice, and then later Daniel Dubois, later Tyson Fury. And in my opinion, those first two fights, I'm not saying the other fights weren't tough, but you expect the other fights like Joshua and the Furies and Dubois to be tough and present stuff because they were higher ranked. But when he first moved up, he had to get introduced and almost acclimate to the division, and the fights were a little bit tougher than people thought. So as far as Crawford, that remains to be seen if he has any challenges in this new division.
Just imagine how I'm gonna be when camp starts.
Ow. Ow. Yeah, come on. So Terence Crawford, he's training in Vegas, it appears, at the UFC Performance Institute PI. And yeah, it looks like he's getting in. What does that say? Looking tired already, champ. Needs you to go harder. See, people just be talking. People just be saying anything. What is this? Somebody said he looked tired. and like, I hate the internet, bro. If I wasn't making money on the internet, I wouldn't even be on here like this. Bro, how you gonna say he looked tired? You don't know what he did. Like, I mean, even if he is tired, like, this is clips. This is like a montage. You don't even know what kind. He could have worked out for 15 hours straight. You don't know. He could have climbed a mountain and then did this workout. You know what I mean? Like, to say he looked tired is foolish. Anyway, his opponent, Israil Madrimov, doesn't have that many fights, has amateur experience, 70% knockout ratio, 11 fights total, 10 wins, 1 draw, no losses, 70% knockout ratio, 7 knockouts, 7 out of 10, or 11 fights, 70%. Let's go. My thing is this. I think the fight is, on paper, it could be difficult. Could be difficult. A lot of people might not necessarily be familiar with Madrimov. I think he looked kind of like Gennady Golovkin, to be honest. He looked like, hey, no guys, hey, Max. He reminds me of Golovkin when I see him. But it could be a difficult fight, especially since he's in shape, he's young. It's his division more than it's Crawford's division. So I'm looking forward to the fight. I think the card is exceptional, but I think a lot of people, unfortunately, they know Crawford, but they're not really versed on Madrimov. So this by itself, I don't think would be a big fight, but the card is so star-studded and cracking that it's like, it's an event now. And shout out to Turkey Al Sheikh and Riyadh Season for making that happen with the different promoters. So I'm looking forward to a good fight. You see they're about even in terms of height. Crawford maybe a hair taller. So that's that. Madrimov, he's difficult. He's a difficult guy. He can move a bit. He can punch. Eddie Hearn believes that he can knock out Terence Crawford. We have seen Crawford get dropped in the fight with Mean Machine. And I've seen Crawford hurt in other fights where he was like at least stung. Derry Jean fight, he got stung, even though he stopped these people. And then the Gamboa fight, of course, is the famous one. So I'm looking forward to it. I'd like to see what the fighters are looking up to. He's also a WBA champion. He won a vacant WBA belt literally a couple months ago. And now Crawford's about to fight him. Crawford is looking in shape. Crawford looking ready to go. Ego Weight Watchers, subscribe, stay tuned to the channel. I will keep you guys posted on all things boxing. But you guys got to subscribe. Links in the description.